Hi guys, and welcome to our first video this year. In this video I will show you how to create very simple and easy character, but yet very useful and inspiring. This character was firstly shown in Japanese anime, and years later Amazon took it for their mascot. Once people got their toy Damboard in their hands, they started to taking pictures with them and got very creative. So I thought that we could steal the idea and got the same effect with our 3D renders. This character is easy to be animated, posed, and also changed in many ways, like colors and textures, and it's like infinite idea generator. So let me show you how you can create one. So the first thing that we are going to model out is going to be the head, so with the Shift and A I'm going to import cube. Now we can move in edit mode, and here I'm going to immediately turn on X-ray mode because I want to select back vertices as well. Now with S and Z I'm going to scale it on the Z axis, and with G and Z I'm going to pull it up. So here I will try to match the reference image as much as possible, so I will scale it a little bit more, and let's scale down a little bit on the Z to about here. And now we can move in right orthographic view by pressing 3, and with S and Y I'm going to scale it down on the Y axis. Now to create the hole on top I'm going to add edge loop in the middle by pressing Ctrl and R. So here I'm going to select those two vertices, and by pressing Ctrl and B and scrolling up once I'm going to add one more segment to it. I'm going to get this edge which I can go and move it down by selecting it, and with G and Z I will just move it down to about here. But be sure that you select both of these vertices, so we can go and move in right orthographic view, select both of these, and with G and Z we can go and pull it down. Or we can go and select both of these and press S, Z and 0 to align it perfectly to be on the 0 axis. So here we are done with modeling the head, and now we can go and continue with the body. Next we can go and add another cube to our scene, so with the Shift and A I'm going to add cube. Let's go immediately in edit mode and in X-ray mode as well, and here I'm going to scale it down by pressing S, and also let's move in right orthographic view, and here we need to scale it on the Y axis. Now we can select those vertices, and with G and Z we can go and pull them down. Let's scale it a little bit more on the X axis, and here we need to create this opening part. So here we can switch to face selection and get rid of these bottom vertices, and with X I'm going to delete this face, and now I'm going to go and select those two edges by switching to edge selection, and with E I'm going to extrude this down to about here. And now we can go and scale it a little bit more on the X, and we can go and move in right orthographic view. While they are both selected we can go and scale them also on the Y, so to about here to match the reference image. And now we can select those two sides edges, and here we can go and extrude them as well on the Z by pressing E and Z. And now we can go and scale them on the X axis to about here, and let's go and scale them also a little bit more on the Y. Now we can switch to vertex selection, and to make perfectly straight all these vertices we can go and press S, Z and 0 to align them on the Z axis. And while they are selected we can go and press Ctrl, Shift and B to bevel them all together like this. And now we need to add some thickness to it, so here I'm going to add just simple solidifier modifier, and we are done with the body part as well. Now that we are done with modeling body we can go and add arms and legs as well. So first I will go and hide my body because I want to see the reference image clearly, and with the Shift and A we can go and import another cube to the scene. Next we can go and add mirror modifier, so now if you go and enter in edit mode and with G move your cube to the side, you can see that we are having mirroring effect on the X axis, and that's because we are having mirror modifier turned on. Now I will press S to scale this down, and let's place it to about here. Now we can go and enter in X-ray mode, and here we can select those four vertices, and with G and Z we can go and pull them down to about here. Now I can go and select everything, and with Shift and D we can go and duplicate it for the legs as well. And now I'm going to scale it a little bit more on the X axis, and let's return those two a little bit down. And now we can go and scale all of these a little bit on the Y to match the reference image. And now with Ctrl and R I'm going to add edge loop in the middle, and now we have those two vertices by pressing Ctrl and B and scrolling up, and here I'm going to press G and Z to pull this edge up. And now we can select all these four, and with S, Z and 0 align them perfectly to be on the same height. And here we have the same hole as we have on the top of the head. So here we are going to add the same effect also on the arms. So Ctrl and R to add edge loop in the middle. Select those two vertices, Ctrl and B to bevel, and now we can go and pull this edge by pressing G and Z. Select all these four and S, Z and 0 to make it perfectly straight. Now I will press L to select arm and R to rotate like this, and let's go and place it where it should be. Now we can select all these vertices on top, and by pressing G we can go and move them slightly back. And if you go in right orthographic view, you can see that we are done with modeling our arms. Next we can go and add shoulders. So for shoulders I'm going to use another cube. Let's go and add mirror modifier as well. And now I'm going to move it to the side, S to scale, place it here, and now I'm going to select those two vertices. Make sure that you are working with the X-ray because you want to select also back vertices, and by pressing Ctrl and B you can bevel this edge, but I will decrease number of segments like this. And now we can go and arrange all these vertices. So I will select all these, and by pressing G I will move them to match the reference image like this. And now we can go and move in right orthographic view, and here we can go and scale it on the Y. So I will press S and Y to scale it on the Y, and here I will switch to face selection. So right now we can turn off X-ray mode, and because we need hole here we can go and select all these faces, and by pressing X we can get rid of those. And now we can just simply add solidifier modifier, and let's add some thickness to it. And also for the head I want to have hole under the head. So here we can go, while we are in face selection, select those two faces, and by pressing I we can insert two faces, and by just pressing E we can go and extrude this up on the Z. And now we can unhide our body, and you can see that we are almost done with modeling our character. So now we have those connecting parts for the arms and also for the inside of the legs and under the head. So for those parts we are going to use UV spheres. Right click to change shading from flat to smooth, and let's also add mirror modifier as well. Now we can move in edit mode, and by pressing G we can move those to the side, scale it down to about here. Let's go and move in right orthographic view, so everything is correct here. And with the Shift and D we can go and duplicate those two and place them inside like so. And now I'm going to go and select those top and those bottom parts like so, and by pressing S and Z I'm going to make this a little bit larger. And now the last part is going to be the inside of the head. So for that part let's go and add one more time UV sphere, change shading to smooth, and now I'm going to scale it down, place it inside like so. And one more time I'm going to select this top and this bottom part, and with S and Z I'm going to make it larger, and we are done with that part. Next we can go and focus on modeling badge, and for that part I'm going to use simple circle, and let's lower down number of vertices to 16. Now I will enter in edit mode, and with vertex selection we can go and rotate it for 90 degrees on the X, and by pressing F I'm going to create a new face, and with I will insert a new face. Now we can remove all the left vertices, so we can go and add mirror modifier with clipping on. And also now we can go and focus on this part here, but before that I want to select those two vertices, and by pressing S and Z and 0 I will make it on the same height also here. And now we can go and scale this down, and we can also move this a little bit on the X, so I will press G and X to move it on the side. And now we can go and place it inside, so I will go and scale it down and place it where it should be. Let's scale it a little bit more and place it in front. And now we can press E to extrude and move it inside. Now here I'm going to select this edge loop and press F to fill the gap here. And also we can go and add subdivision surface modifier with number of subdivision 2. Right click to change shading from flat to smooth. And now we can go and add supporting loops. So here one, and let's add one more on the back, and also inside as well, like this and this. And we are done with creating the badge. Next we can go and focus on creating switchers. So for that part I will use cube. Let's scale it down and place it where it should be. Now we can switch in right orthographic view and scale it also on the Y like so. And we also have this container behind, so for that part I will use another cube. Let's scale it down, and with S and X I'm going to scale it on the X. Now we can place it here, and let's scale it up a little bit like this. And now we can move in right orthographic hue and switch to X-ray mode, and here we can go and scale it a little bit on the Y. And here we can switch face selection, so we can select both of these faces, and by pressing I we can go and insert those two faces together like so. And with X I'm going to remove those two faces, and let's go and connect those two by using bridge edge loops under search. And now we can go and add also two edge loops on top and bottom parts, so we can go and also extrude those two parts. So I will select this edge and this one here, and here we can go and select this extrude individual. So if you pull this yellow circle up, you can go and extrude those two faces. Now we can go and switch to vertex selection, select all of these, and let's go and scale it up a little bit on the Z. And now we can scale all together like so. And now I will select this back, and by pressing F I'm going to create a new face here. And also we can go and add edge loop in the middle. And here we are done with creating the switcher container. Now we can go and select both of these, and by pressing G and Y we can go and pull it in front. And here we can go and scale it a little bit more on the Y. And now we are done with that part. And the last part of the modeling is going to be the face creating. So first let's go and start with the eyes, and for that we can use simple circles. And now we can go and rotate it for 90 degrees, and let's add mirror modifier as well. Now we can move in edit mode, and with G we can move it on the side, S to scale it down to about here. And now I will press F to create face inside, and with E and Y we can extrude this part, and with G and Y I can go and pull it in front like this. Next we can go and create mouth, and for that we can use simple cube. Now I will enter in edit mode and rotate it for 45 degrees like this by pressing R and 45. And with G and Z I'm going to pull these vertices up, and now I will select all these together, and with S, Z and 0 I'm going to make it perfectly straight. And now we can go and select this edge, and by pressing X and I'm going to dissolve this edge. So now we have this triangle which we can use for the mouth. Let's scale it down. Now we can select both mouth and also eyes together and enter in edit mode together, and with S, Y and 0 I'm going to make this perfectly straight like this on the same position. And now we need to go and apply boolean modifier to head. So first we can go and select head and add boolean modifier, and now we can go and use this eyedropper tool for selecting first eyes. And for solver I'm going to use fast, and let's use difference option. Now with Ctrl and A I'm going to apply this modifier, and now we can remove those circles, and now you can see that we created eyes. Now let's go and do the same for the mouth. I'm going to use this cube, and once again solver, difference, Ctrl and A, and now we can remove this triangle, and we are done with modeling our character. Do you want to learn how to use Blender and become a good 3D artist? Why don't you check our online academy, rendercraft.com, with over 80 courses inside. With the price same as Netflix, it's your choice, should you watch a movie or create one. The link will be down in the description. Now let's go back to the video. Now that we are done with modeling, we can go and add materials. So first I'm going to switch to material preview, and here I'm going to hide our reference image. Now first we can go and select head, and here I'm going to go and create simple yellow material. And now let's go and add this material to body, arms and legs as well, and also on the shoulders. Next we can go and select all these inside parts, and here I'm going to add simple dark material. Also here I'm going to use the same material, and the only thing that's left is here for this container for the switcher I'm going to add simple, and also for the badge I will use the same material. Now also for the inside of the head I will use the same inside material for the others, and now we can go and add also material for the eyes and mouth. So here I will switch to face selection, select this face loop and also this, and holding shift I'm going to select those insides, and now we can select all inside faces of the mouth. So here I'm just holding shift, selecting all this, and here I will select plus, and I'm going to assign this dark material there, and now we are done with adding simple material. So now we can go and add simple cardboard material to this character. In order to do that, I'm going to switch to first material, and here I'm going to go and switch to shading as well. And the first node that we will need is going to be noise texture. And now if you connect it to base color, you can see this noise pattern that we have. Now we need to add also color to it, so with the shift and A we can search and add color ramp here, and now we need to switch the color. So I'm going to use this orange yellow on both of these slides to about here is going to be just fine, and we can go and increase scale here for this noise pattern to about here is going to be just fine. And now we need second texture, which is going to be wave texture. So with shift and A I'm going to add wave texture. Now if you connect this to this color ramp, you can see that we have those lines, and basically what we are going to do, we will go and mix those two together by using mix RGB node. So mix RGB, and now we can go and connect this one here and the second one here on the first slot. And now I'm going just to plug in this into color ramp, and now we got those two mixed together. Now we will need also mapping node, so with the shift and A I'm going to search for mapping node, and now we can go and plug in it here into vector and the other vector. And also we will need texture coordinate, so with the shift and A I'm going to search for texture coordinate, and now I'm going to plug in it into UV here. And now we can see that we got those horizontal lines, so we will need to switch to vertically, and I'm going to switch only here on the X, I'm going to switch to Y, and we got those vertical lines as you can see. Now we can go and play with the size of it, and we got this simple cardboard material. The only thing that we can go and add is going to be some bump to it, so with the shift and A we can go and search for bump material, bump node, and here I'm going to plug it into normal. And now I'm going to use this mix RGB to control the height of it, and also we will need to lower down strength. As you can see, we got this here, and now we can go and lower down the strength of it, so to about here is going to be just fine, and we are done with creating our cardboard material. Now that we got our material ready, we can go and select everything with A, and with G and Z I'm going to place it on top of the grid. And now with the shift and A I'm going to create a simple plane for the background, press S to scale it up, and also now I'm going to switch in edit mode here, and in the edge selection I'm going to select this back edge, and with E and Z I'm going to extrude it up. Now I'm going to bevel this edge by pressing Ctrl and B and scrolling up to add more bevel to it. Now we need to change shading from flat to smooth by pressing right click, and also we can go and scale it up on the x-axis. So now we got this simple backdrop for our character. Next we can go and add camera to our scene, so with the shift and A I'm going to add camera. Now I'm going to enter in camera view, or you can press 0, and now with the shift and crave key, which is this key here, I'm going to enter in fly camera mode, so now I can use my keyboard to navigate around with my camera. I'm going to zoom out to about here, let's place it there. And now for the camera settings, I like to turn this space part out to 1, so now I can see only what camera is going to see. And under compositing guys, we can go and turn on center and turns, for example. So I will go and just rotate this slightly on the left side to about here, so now we can see those compositing guys, we can see center as well. And now if you search here in rendered view, you cannot see anything because everything is dark, because we don't have any light. So the easiest way for us to get good results with light is going to be importing HDRI. So you can go here in this poly heaven or HDRI heaven to find HDRI. So these are free and you can select them. And so for example this one here, you can download it, and once you got your HDRI you can go and return to your Blender, and now we need to import it. So now we can go and switch to shading. Currently it's set to object shading, so we need to switch to wall shading. And now I'm going to search environment texture. Now we can go and plug in it here in this background, and now I'm going to go and import, for example, this one here. I got several of these HDRIs, I'm going to use this one. And now with Shift and A I'm going to add also mapping, which I will connect here, and also we will need texture coordinate. And this time I'm going to use this generated. And now if you switch to rendered view, Here you can see your environment around, and also here you can go and rotate it as well. So now I'm going also to switch my render engine from Eevee to Cycle. And also for device I'm going to use this GPU compute, and don't forget to turn on denoising. And now I'm going to return to my camera, so you can see that it's a little bit light, our cardboard material. So I'm going to select my cardboard material, switch back to object shading, and here I'm going to go and make it a little bit darker, like so, and also the other one to about here. Now I'm going to add color also for the background, for example this one here. So maybe we can go and switch our colors here on our cardboard a little bit more. So here it's a little bit too dark now, so I'm going to return it to there. And also don't forget to decrease strength here in this bump. Let's decrease it even more. And now I'm going to also make this background a little bit more different. Let's make it this pinkish color here. And now if you go on the render image, your rendering is going to begin. For those who stay until the end of the video, I got a surprise for you. Since we are all into New Year resolution mindset and we all want our six packs and knowledge in different topics, we are running 30% discount, and it will be available until the end of the month. So check out our link in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!